So hey, how's it going? So today I'm coming to you with day 42 inside of a 60-day video challenge. And the thing that I want to talk about today is creating a bridge to be able to convert leads. If you happen to be catching this video live, do me a favor and hit pound live. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And if you happen to be catching this via the replay, do me a favor and hit pound replay. Let me know where you are tuning in from. The concept of creating a bridge, and the reason why I want to talk about that to convert leads, is that people, it's not always 100% obvious to people what it is that you do. It's not always 100% obvious to people the benefit that you provide and how is it you can go ahead and help them. So the concept of bridge is going to allow you, depending on where the person is in the buying cycle, if they're cold, if they're warm, etc., is going to allow you to be able to nurture that individual, to move that person closer to the buying process. So you're basically creating a bridge to help them to understand this is why this service is important to you, and this is how it's going to help you. Unless you're selling something like toothpaste, right? Toothpaste, a lot of people know precisely why toothpaste is important to them, what toothpaste is going to do with them. But even with a product such as toothpaste, you see some of the brands out there, they're always creating bridges to help people to understand, okay, this type of toothpaste is going to help you to solve this problem, whether it be cavity or whatever the case may be. So we're always creating bridges. Some of those bridges are long and some of those bridges are short. So let me go ahead and just tell you about just a couple of different bridges that may exist depending on the individual. I was having a conversation a couple of weeks ago with a cousin of mine, and this individual, I want to say this person got married in the 80s, and we were having a conversation, and this person was telling me about the courting process. And as part of the courting process, to try and convey to, his wife that he was the right fit, he told me he spent about 5 months trying to connect with her to help her to understand why he is the right one and why she should basically decide to start the dating process. And one of the main reasons why it took him that long was that she was part of a home and or a household, a strict household, and her parents prohibited her from dating and prohibited her from even talking to guys. So she was not even in the mindset of dating or in the mindset of looking for a mate, because that was something that was not allowed. So because of that, my cousin in this case had to do a lot of work to basically convey to this individual, hey, I know that you're not in the process of looking for a mate. Perhaps at some point you will be, and I'm going to spend the next 5 months to communicate to you and to convey to you why I am the right fit, right? So that 5 month of work ended up paying off, because obviously they ended up getting married and things, worked out. So that's one individual who's not even in the market for what it is that you are trying to sell to them, right? So in his case, he was trying to make a sale. He was trying to get a date. And, for you, that is considered what we call a cold market. That's a cold individual that's not even in the market for what it is that you're trying to, convey to them and what you're trying to sell to them. But let's just say if, this individual, this young lady, was on a dating site. If that person is on the dating site, that person has the intent and that person is looking for a date. So the bridge in that case, as opposed to the bridge taking 5 months, the bridge may take just a couple of weeks, right? So this person is already in the process of looking for a date, right? All you have to do now is you have to convey to this person, here's why I'm the right fit for you, and here's why you should go ahead and choose me. Whereby with my cousin, he had to convince the person, okay, dating is okay, right? I knew that your parents are telling you don't date, don't do this type of stuff, but dating is fine. We all need a mate, so on and so forth. So he had to convince the person that dating is fine. After he convinced the person that dating was fine, he had to convince the person that he is the right fit. You go on a dating site, that person is a little bit more warmer, because that person has already decided that, you know what, I'm looking for a mate. I am looking for a date. Now it's just a matter of me having conversations to see who's the right one. So as you can see, those bridges are completely different, right? One of them is a much longer bridge, and you have to do a lot more convincing. You have to convince people of two different things, and the second one is a much shorter bridge. I remember when I was first introduced to marketing funnels, because I didn't always understand what a marketing funnel is and how a marketing funnel could help my specific business. I had a dating slash a dancing type of a website that was custom built. Spent about $30,000 to get it a custom built. And at some point, I started to learn a little bit more about marketing. I started to learn that I needed to have landing pages. And I started to learn that I need to have these different things to optimize my marketing process. So when I started to learn that, I first worked with one programmer who helped me build the site, and then later down the line, I decided to bring on a different programmer to help me with modification and to help me with changes on the site. And I remember I had learned about this marketing process, and I was working with a programmer to go ahead and create the individual pages that's going to allow me to successfully deploy this marketing process. And I remember this individual was telling me that I had to pay a couple of $1,000s in order to make this work. So my situation at that time is that I had to pay a couple of $1,000s to get pages up and running, to get pages custom built. So then at some point later down the line, I came across a presentation that Russell Brunson was doing, and he was telling me about the concept of funnels. So there were two things that allowed me to go ahead and make the next step. Thing number one is that I was trying to solve two problems. The first problem I was trying to solve is speed. So when I was working with the programmer, and when you're working with the programmer to get things custom built, in my case, it could take a couple of weeks. So from a momentum standpoint, I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. Thing number two, from a cost standpoint, it was costing me thousands and thousands of dollars to get that type of stuff completed. So when I heard Russell Brunson's story about, something very similar, he was trying to create marketing funnels, and these are some of the hurdles he had. I was like, okay, you know what? This connects with me because I'm trying to solve those two problems. So in that specific instance, I was an individual that was warm, and that person's, Russell Brunson in this case, his story bridged the gap for me as to why I should use ClickFunnels, because here's what ClickFunnels is going to do, for me, type of thing. So the thing that I want you to think about is I want you to think about the individual that you're looking to, to convey, the individuals that you're looking to convert. What is their circumstance? What is their circumstance, and what content can you use to go ahead and bridge that gap? Because at the end of the day, right, bridging these gaps is all about, content. Some of you may be watching this or listening to this, may be part of my group, Black Creators Connect. And with some of you, there's going to end up being some type of a bridge. Some of you may listen to or watch my content for the very first time. It may resonate with you. You may watch a handful of pieces of content, and then at that point, you may decide that, Vladimir is the right fit for me. Let me go ahead and see what the next step is, as it relates to working with me. Well, that's a bridge, because first things first is you don't know anything about me. Now all of a sudden, I help with the lead generation process, I help with the marketing process, and I can help you as well. And then you're like, do I really have that problem? Do I really have a lead generation problem in my business? Do I have a marketing problem in my business? If you do, I may be the right fit for you. So then I've helped to kind of just bridge that gap based on the content that I have, provided, right? So that's that analogy. And just going back to the dating analogy, I told you building a bridge with someone that's cold, building a bridge with someone that's warm. You can also build bridges with people that are, that are hot, right? So let's just say if someone was dating, they dated for a couple of months, and for whatever reason, things didn't work out, and later down the line, they decide to rekindle that relationship. Well, for an individual in that case, that's someone who, that's a bridge, but that's someone who was once hot because you guys had a relationship together. So depending on, the terms and how the terms of a relationship worked out, conveying or reconnecting with that person might not be as hard. Kind of like when you had a client in the past. I just said you had a client in the past, and that person bought something from you in the past. Now you have different offerings. That bridge is going to be much shorter because that person's already done business with you. So that's the thing that was on my mind today. I wanted to come on live to share that with you. So think about, bridges, and think about creating different pieces of content that's going to connect with different segments of the market, and that's going to allow them to understand and creates that bridge to be able to convert and to be able to do business with you. Pound live if you live. pound replay if you happen to catch this via the replay. That's it for now. I'll talk to you soon.